here because these are our semi-finalists. A player to watch.
I really like Chief Mystical's Hog Rider usage. I think that he made a lot of really great decisions, and Hog Rider play at the top level requires really precise execution and really good timing. Jewish Panda, though, I think has two decks that are very well suited for what he needs to do. Golem Graveyard provides you a punch that is undeniably very terrifying to deal with. Yes, and at the same time, Expo with Rocket, I mean, that's just very solid. You can defend, you can Rocket Cycle against the Hog Rider, and you can do really well.
This faces Graveyard might be real good against Chief Mystical. We've seen Chief Mystical play exceptional defense when he was able to keep those golems from hitting his tower with various decks. That was pretty crazy. But I'm looking at this now. Graveyard just going to pop up. There ain't no crossing the bridge for Graveyard. That's just on your tower. And Hog Rider ain't going to stop it. Princess is too slow. Mega Minion's kind of slow. Like, we can see some cool Graveyard plays.
All right. You guys better share this, because this stuff's about to get crazy. You don't want any of your friends to miss this.
No friend. Not a single friend.
Not a single one.
No. Or sibling.
No.
Or family member.
Mom.
Immediate or marriage.
My mom did actually watch a Coronation Day.
My parents have been watching every single
Hey,
Your
parents.
family loves you more than mine.
Hey, parents.
Hi, Mom and Dad.
It's good to have you guys here. All right, so like we're saying, coming up next, Chief Mystical and Jewish Panda. One of the things that Chief Mystical is doing, kind of like what Backstab did, was running a double of the similar deck, right? Backstab runs double Royal Giant. Now we have Chief Mystical running double Hog Rider. So if a Hog Rider just shows to be better than one of the decks, this might be able to take him to the finals.
I definitely think that one of the wins goes to Graveyard. I think Graveyard is really effective with this Golem combo. I agree with Rumham. I don't know if there's a way for Chief Mystical to stop it, but that's only one win, right? You have to make yours. Basically, I think that it comes down to Jewish Panda's Expo deck. What can the Expo deck do against Hog Riders? That's the question.
It's definitely different from a lot of the Hog Rider decks we've seen before. It does not have Tombstone, so it's not as vulnerable to the log. It's got skeletons, but they only cost one, so if you log them, not the end of the world. It does have Inferno Tower, which should be pretty good.
Chief Mystical versus Jewish Panda in our second semifinal match. Who do you guys think is going to take it at home? Let us know.
Big pressure on Mystical here. He wants to bring one home for Hammer Esports. It's it'll be their second title if he can pull it off.
They need to catch up.
Right, putting him up there with Takeover, Reddit Alpha, many of the other clans who have taken home multiple Coronation Day titles already, and we're only halfway through.
The Jewish Panda wanting to represent Human Made to have their first Coronation Day win, so a lot on him as well.
Princess is a card that we haven't seen recently, but I've really liked, I mean, that's the reason why, but I've actually really liked the usage of Princess in the tournament today.
That card's so strong. Like, oh god, here comes a great log.
Log!
And it knocks the archers back a little bit and interrupts their attack, which just gives them a little bit more time to get to the tower and take a swing.
One of the archers got clipped by the Ice Golem, and so it actually...
Oh, it actually died?
Yeah, it died to the log. Uh-oh. Watch out. Ooh, play the Ice Golem to protect the Princess. Now he has to log. You have to log the Princess.
So this is the Inferno Tower Hog Lightning deck. To your point earlier, Christian, about him playing two separate Hog Rider decks, one of the really cool things that he was able to do was play two kind of different Hog Rider decks. I mean, even though they both contain Hog Rider, they're not nearly as similar as, for example, two Expo decks might be in terms of their play. This one is far more defensive, far more control-y. It's going to lean on its Inferno Towers and Princesses to force them to attack into you, and then uses Hog Lightning on these really big, powerful counterattacks to do a lot of damage. His other Hog Rider deck is a lot faster tempo, faster pace, casting Hog Rider so often that you're not able to counter them very well.
One thing I like about what Chief Mystical is doing is, like you were saying, Rennie, he puts the Princess on one side where you gotta log it, right? Which then leaves your log not able to push back the Hog Rider.
God, that combo is so good, and Chief Mystical is really making short work of Jewish Panda. This is Jewish Panda's time. Double Elixir has finally hit, and he's weathered the storm, but did he take too much damage? Here comes the first Graveyard.
It logs out.
It's gonna be the Ice Golem.
Go, Princess, go! Go, Princess, go!
Princess got the value shot. No, where are you walking? Shoot to the left.
Princess, what are you doing? Your tower's under attack.
Oh my gosh. And really, this is a key moment for Jewish Panda. He needs to make the dream happen right now. Ice Golem is getting way more hugs than I would have normally seen, and this Princess is about to abandon duty.
Oh, yeah, Princess not even looking at the tower. That tower is
God.
going down.
No. The thing is, Chief Mystical has the opportunity to push this into overtime. The fact that that left side tower is so weak is actually a great boon for Chief Mystical. because that means that he actually has a shot. He can race the next golem drop and try to take down that tower before the golem gets there.
Half health.
But the big problem is, again, Graveyard. How do you stop it? It's a race. Chief Mystical needs first strike right now. And I think that moment of opportunity is quickly slipping away. The instant this golem makes it across the river, I give Chief Mystical maybe another 20 seconds to live. This Hog Log might do it. This is the big play right now. If this Hog Rider gets it and gets enough swings.
One more.
No, it's not quite enough. Defense is so important. Where's the Graveyard? No, I think Jewish Panda invested too much elixir on the left. The Golem's going to make it, but it's not actually going to end the game. And if Chief Mystical Lightnings defend this Graveyard, lightning once, then the Golem is definitely too slow for the next lightning. And I think that Chief Mystical might have closed it out.
Wow.
Ice Golem is a decent little stopgap there, too, because it absorbs all the shots, and when it does die, it blows up on the skeletons.
He didn't get the swing. That could have been the end of the game, but the Hog Rider didn't get to swing. And so now Jewish Panda lives just a little bit longer. It's not enough time to do 2 lightnings, or it's going to be a big risk. He needs the Hog Rider to swing right now.
That's it.
Where's the defense? There's a log.
Here comes Lightning Chief Mystical picking up game number 1 here in the semifinals against Jewish Panda with a deck that this was the deck that you said that he would have a harder time against, correct?
Well, he got a good matchup there. No, actually, I don't really think there's a good or bad matchup. It's that this one was the control deck. It's the one that's going to sit back, and he got a better matchup there. He got paired up against the Golem deck, which control decks thrive on beatdown decks. They sit back, they're prepared for you, they have answers to your plan A, and they want to knock down your attacks and then slowly get their damage in when they can. I think he would have a harder time with that deck against the Expo deck solely because Expo forces you to come to them. You have to put together an attack, and the only cards that really attack in that deck are like Hog and Mega Minion, and Princess is not going to block an Expo. Sure. We know that much.
Poor Princess. I have faith in her.
Yeah, there was 2 on the board at one time. That was pretty great. Just a reminder, guys, for our schedule here at the Clash Royale North American Opens. Good afternoon to you guys. This is kind of a rare event. We're doing a back-to-back marathon palooza here.
Because of Sunday's King's Cup.
Because of the King's Cup on Sunday, which was a fantastic event. Go ahead and watch that if you guys have missed any of that. Some fantastic top players. Some of our top players made it over there as well and played. So kudos to them. But we have another one tonight, 6 o'clock p.m., so don't go anywhere. Just quickly, you can go somewhere briefly and then come back.
Bathroom break.
Yeah,
then
bathroom break, and then you're in. Then you're instantly in. Maybe even bring your phone to the bathroom just so you don't miss a thing. And then Wednesday, 6 o'clock p.m., Thursday, 8 o'clock p.m., and we'll be again back next Sunday at 6 o'clock. All right, Chief Mystic up 1-0 against Jewish Panda. If you're Jewish Panda, Rainey, do you bring the Expo deck or do you try to do the Golem again?
I think if you're Jewish Panda, try the Expo deck. I think that the defense against the Hog Rider was just so tough for Jewish Panda to put together. In the early 2 minutes of the game, each Hog Rider just got swing after swing after swing, and that really hurt. How many times do you see a Hog Rider deck win in a 1-1 tower situation, taking the second tower, winning 2-1? Not that often, and the fact that Chief Mystical could put that together is actually astounding to me. I think play the Expo.
I've been really impressed by Chief Mystical. I kind of agree with you. I think you might as well switch it. Here's the problem. The game's going to go 2 different ways no matter what you play. If you play Expo, you're actually kind of in the driver's seat. You are the one putting down the Expo, forcing them to react, and if you can grab the game by the throat, you can win, right? The downside is if he plays the Golem deck, even though it's more powerful, a lot of openings. He's going to go down to 2 elixir to cast that Golem, and that's when the Hog strikes.
Yep. All right, well, we'll see right now. Chief Mystical, one more game from being our finalist. Can he take it?
Oh, here it comes. Starting the game out with a big combo. There's actually no lightning in this deck, I believe.
No, there's not. There's Fireball instead. The jump there was actually bad for the Hog Rider. You wanted the Ice Golem to be the first thing tagged on. You wanted the Hog to stay behind it, push it up front, and then when it dies, freezes on it. With those going in reverse order, Jewish Panda got a pretty good 5-for-6 trade there.
Here we go. How do you stop the Expo from tagging onto your tower? And Ice Golem might be the biggest card you have to do that, and it's already gone. Meanwhile, Ice Golem from Jewish Panda is going to hold up the Mega Minion. Now the skeletons pop. Run, Mega Minion. Run. No, not the skeletons. The Expo. Ooh. The Expo. No. There's the Ice Spirit, too. Hog Rider is going to come in and save the day. But I think Inferno Tower might be in cycle, and there it is. Mega Minion actually tags it up, but Hog Rider takes 3 swings and will die to this Inferno Tower.
That wasn't too bad, though, because you did take down the Expo, and you got another 5 elixir out from the Inferno Tower. Now, if you look at Jewish Panda, is only just now able to cast Expo, but without support cards, it's probably not going to do it. Chief Mystical has a 2 elixir advantage that he can use to invest in another set of archers, maybe a tombstone in the middle, and continue to try to seal the lanes before another Expo comes to punish him.
Uh-oh, time for Chief Mystical to scramble again. I think the early play is Hog Rider right now. Maybe remove the Mega Minion, but then commit to the Hog Rider on the table. Oh, missed the Ice Spirit. That's going to change things a little bit. Archer's the last bastion of defense. No, and it's gone.
Oh, the skeletons again.
Oh, wow.
Mega
Three
Minion has a pretty
swings.
slow hit speed, and those skeletons are actually really effective at buying time.
How do you get past the Inferno Tower? Would have liked the Lightning, but don't have it in this deck. You have Fireball, and I think there's Zap in this deck, so that might be the option, but that's expensive. I mean, it is 6 elixirs, so that's actually the same as Lightning, but just having both cards in hand.
I agree. He hasn't shown a ton of ways to get around it. You have to hold the Ice Golem. Don't be, oh, nice Archer placement. It was just outside the range of the Ice Golem, and they were able to lock on and do a critical amount of damage to it.
Ooh, the log actually pushed the Archers back, let it get a shot off onto the Mega Medium, but this is a big Expo, and that might actually take down the tower. Hog Rider getting one swing will stop that, but where's the Inferno Tower? Ice Spirit into Inferno. There it is.
There it is.
I think Fireball Zap is the option here, but no, even if he did that, the Hog Rider already lost so much health, and this is one of the big reasons why Expo is so great. I think that, oh wow, that Rocket is really going to seal the deal. I think that playing Hog Rider against Expo, you almost need to commit your Hog Rider to trading against the Expo. Trying to use it aggressively is just hurting you in the long run.
He actually could probably play a center Expo at this point to draw any future Hog Riders towards it, although he's got this game locked up. Very impressive play there by Jewish Panda, tying it up at 1-1.
There we go. Both of these now going into a death match. Game 3 into the finals. Who will be joining it? Will it be Chief Mystical joining Lucifer, or will it be Jewish Panda? Let us know at home.
Good news for Chief Mystical. He's going into Game 3 with against the dreaded Golem Graveyard deck, but he actually has Archers, Zap, Ice Golem, Mega Minion, Tombstone. Like, there's a lot of cards that he could use to counter the Graveyard if it come up. I think he has a better chance of winning against it with this deck than the other.
Is Ice Golem good for Graveyard defense? Graveyard? Yeah.
Ice Golem
I know.
is
Tombstone good?
Always doubting yourself. huh?
Ice Golem is good because when the Ice Golem pops up, it walks really, really slowly. So if you place it on the side where the Graveyard is most overlapping, then that means most of the skeletons that pop out will actually tag onto the Ice Golem. If the Ice Golem does end up dying, you don't have to worry about any of the skeletons that piled on.
Okay.
Also, it gives you the opportunity to build up the skeletons without taking damage to your tower, and then say a princess or a log just splashes and takes down the majority of the skeletons, which is also very helpful.
Yeah, and it's only 2 elixir to 5, so even if you play something like Archers along with it, that can totally ace the Graveyard for, the same elixir cost, so that helps.
Speaking of icy things, Ice Spirits got a reduction recently, right? How did that affect these decks that we saw just now?
One thing I've definitely noticed is that Musketeer feels like you used to be able to counter things like Musketeer and Mini P.E.K.K.A. with just a single Ice Spirit, and it seems like that extra half second has allowed those cards to come back to life a little sooner and threaten the tower a little more. That's probably good. That's probably bad for Clash Royale if 1 elixir cards can counter 4 and 5 elixir cards, because you want the 4 and 5 elixir cards.
It was
to be
nice
really
while it
strong.
lasted, but
Yeah.
Here we go. Jewish Panda, Chief Mystical.
Here comes same opening, doing the hog push on the Ice Golem. Oh! And the Hog Rider's not going to get a swing.
Worth mentioning, though, that Ice Golem has largely replaced Ice Spirit in a lot of these decks with its buff to now kill skeletons and also a huge amount of hit points for its cost. That's largely kind of been the new card that people are using just to block incoming offensive attacks.
Saw there that it was very effective. Slowed up the Archer, prevented any tower damage, and also took down the Ice Golem.
This might be the time to attack.
All right, here it comes. Pushy push. Tombstone's going to come down. Oh, first log.
Not good enough.
Uh-oh, and you made a mistake.
And it's slower now.
Oh, and the Mega Minion gets slow.
4. 4 hits. Almost 5 there.
And it was definitely 4 because of the Ice Golem's slow. If that thing didn't slow, 100% that was only a 3-time push.
Hold on.
Archers are
Watch your
locked on.
back. Watch your back, Archers.
Don't make me go.
Oh, man, they are just taking them down.
Wow.
That is some fast target acquisition.
Look at this defense right here.
And that's the downside of Graveyard. It is a very high risk, high reward sort of card. If it works, it can ace a tower from 100% to
yeah,
0.
we saw that happen.
But there's very few cards that can disappoint you like a Graveyard does sometimes.
Double swing and a zap for the 3-hit combo earns the Hog Rider 1 swing. Jewish Panda had to play the Archers to get a single shot off on the Hog Rider to prevent 2.
Now, Jewish Panda already thrown up those well plays. We're not the double elixir, which we've seen. That's where Golem thrives.
Yes. Right now, I mean, Chief Mystical is doing even better than he did in the first game. We're not even in overtime, and he's got 845 on that right side tower. In the other game, Jewish Panda had 1,000+ health on that right side tower, so it's still not looking very good for him.
Ooh, I think he got tricked there. Oh, he does play the Golem. Oh, no, Jewish Panda.
Uh-oh.
He was trying to block a tombstone that wasn't going to come up. I was under the impression that Ice Golem back there was sort of a bait to see if he would hog ride, and then you still have 8 elixir to defend with. But instead, Jewish Panda just actually dropped the Golem, right? And then might have hurt him.
Ice Golem against the Graveyard. The Mega Minion is actually going to lose. The Mega Minion loses because the Graveyard attracts it, and now the Graveyard is able to connect.
Wow.
Wow.
I actually think Chief Mystical should hide the Archer drop until the Graveyard comes out because...
He cycled again!
This might be a 3-crown, and I think this Ice Golem is... Oh, no! Hold on! Wait, that's too many skeletons! Hold on, Chief Mystical! You're not out of the woods yet, and I think that Jewish Panda got from behind!
What?
Fireball?
Wait, does he have...
There's Log Zap.
Jewish Panda has Log Zap.
Those two combined will do it.
Go.
Zap. Graveyard is such a dangerous card.
Oh, wow.
I mean, we talk about being high risk, high reward.
We saw both in the same game.
Yeah, there it is, the log. There's the Zap. Jewish Panda getting a 3-crown. I think that's only our 4th one out of all the coronation days, and he is moving on to face off against Lucifer in the final.
Jewish Panda's gonna be meeting Lucifer.
Yep, that's it. Let's see if you guys predicted it at home, because some people in the back did.
Yeah, the Panda went up to Burbank, and he's looking for a deck to steal.
That's right. Wow, what a match. I mean, we were just talking, again, like you said, in one match we see Graveyard played and just get countered and do nothing, and then all of a sudden take a tower down, play it again, 3-crown.
You know what's kind of odd for Chief Mystical, too? If I'm looking at it, he actually didn't... Oh, he did. I'm sorry. He did mirror 4 cards between all of them. So the Zap log was a thing that he had to do. But I really feel like Zap was kind of a liability in that compared to how effective log was at getting around Tombstone. His opponent played Tombstone in both decks, and every time he was able to log the Tombstone or lightning it, it seemed really good. And the Zap was just not quite as good. His lightning deck has been crushing people all day, and this was the deck he struggled with the entire tournament, and it comes back to bite him in the semifinals.
Well, let's see our first replay with some expos. Expos are sort of back, you guys. Like,
There's an expo.
Half back.
And it's partially because there's really no Royal Giants hanging around anymore.
Yeah.
Royal Giants
Our Royal Giant's gonna come back because of this.
Love that play, by the way, of the archers on the far right side. They actually were able to lock on to the X-Bow instead of the Ice Golem placed in front. That's what was able to prevent a lot of damage from coming through. It was still enough to put it within rocket range, but Chief Mystical went down fighting.
Yeah, I agree. Oh my God, this Graveyard is actually
Now, how does this turn to a 3-crown? That really surprised me that it just turned into another 3-crown.
The thing is, it's the second Graveyard that gets played in the same cycle. There it is.
Yeah.
That's the Graveyard that really hurt Chief Mystical the most.
Skeleton Party.
It was 2 Ice Golems, 2 Mega Minions, and 2 Graveyards. He just stuck
critical mass.
Yeah, so much stuff. And a lot of that comes down because Chief Mystical on the right side committed, I want to say 9 elixir to his push because he had, I think, an Ice Spirit, or I'm sorry, 10. He had Ice Golem, Hog Rider, and a Fireball. He was trying to Fireball a Tombstone that never came. So he kind of just fireballed the tower, and he may not have even needed to because the Hog Rider might have done it all on his own. So now he's back down to 0 elixir, and here comes Ice Golem plus Golem. It was not that much more that you had to add on top to make that a tower crushing push.
Well, also, and then he got back to it, and his Fireball had to be used defensively instead of offensively anyway. So even if he was trying to get the spell cycle on the enemy tower, he just didn't have enough leisure to do that.
In terms of strategical thinking, there's something that we should bring up, right? In that situation, if you were Chief Mystical, right, pre-fireballing a Tombstone in your mind sounds like, that's a great idea. If he plays a Tombstone, I'll clear it out instantly. Sounds great. But in actuality, that is a wrong play because let's take the situation where Tombstone is not played. If you hold and don't pre-fireball and Tombstone is not played, you get the tower, right? Let's say that Tombstone is played and you did not play Fireball. Well, now you know that 3 elixir is committed on the right side. Just fireball the Tombstone and take that as your victory. And then just spell cycle your way to victory so you never overcommit elixir. And I think that loss of 4 elixir really hurt him. So in some ways, you're incentivized to just hold. Just throw the Hog Rider and watch. Okay. If your opponent decides to try to defend the Hog Rider, then you Fireball. Because you don't need, the tower health is low enough that you can actually cycle with Fireball. You don't need a big risky play like pre-Fireballing.
This is why you have more crowns than I do. All right, let's go ahead and pull up the bracket now. We do have our 2 finalists. It is Lucifer versus Jewish Panda. They have all beaten many very equipped foes to get to this point. And now it is the battle for $2,000 and that chance to move on. Again, just a reminder to you guys, 16 coronation days, 8 are done, 8 to go. After this, 16 will move on to the arena battles, which will then narrow it down to 8 players, which will then go on to the crown duels, as you guys see there, with one grand dueler taking home $15,000 and that chance to go visit Supercell HQ.
And did you see the cool promo video that came out for the crown duel?
That was today?
It was released.
That's
yes.
right.
So Rob Corddry, a very funny comedian, is actually going to be one of the co-hosts of it. I'm really excited. It's going to be a lot
It's
of
going
fun.
to be sweet. And there you guys go again. First place, not only playing for that chance today to move on, they're also playing for $2,000. And that's either going to be Lucifer or it's going to be Jewish Panda. All right, gentlemen and lady, we are here. We are now in the finals. All right, I think it's going to be Jewish Panda. I think Jewish Panda's got this. I love what he's using.
Graveyard is definitely, I want Graveyard to, 2 weeks in a row, will Graveyard win a coronation day?
It's both the decks.
We'll see.
That'd be pretty cool.
You know, we've mentioned that we've actually seen this in the finals where sometimes players bring 2 decks, and their one deck is super successful, and the other deck, a little less successful, loses like 3 times in a row for them to get reverse swept. Jewish Panda needs to pull out at least one game with this Expo, one by hell or high water. He needs to pull out one Expo game, because then I actually think his Golem Graveyard deck could probably beat, either a Golem Mirror Match or the Giant Bowler deck. The hardest matchup in the entire finals is his Expo against Giant Bowler or Golem
Bring it
Lightning.
first. You got to win that coin flip.
Yeah, definitely. We'll bring it first. I like that.
Yeah.
Good idea.
I think
Start throwing them Expos down.
that's right.
Baby Dragon, weirdly, you'd think it would be good against Graveyard. It's okay against Graveyard. There's no Lightning in Jewish Panda's deck. He has Zap and Log instead of the Log and Lightning combination.
Okay.
So he doesn't have a way to you play Baby Dragon to counter the Graveyard, I can Lightning it along with the tower. But Baby Dragon attacks slow, has kind of a small little spit range, so it's not as good at cleaning out those skeletons as something like Bowler might be.
What is Jewish Panda's main way of taking down big bodies?
Inferno Tower, buddy.
Inferno Tower is the go-to method. I still think even with Lightning available, you still, out of necessity kind of, it's either Inferno Tower or Tombstone, right? It's one or the other.
Okay. All right. Well, again, $2,000 is on the line for both of these players. I'm going to go through and let's see who you think's going to win. Rumham?
I might have to go with the Dark Lord of Temptation, but